Brandon Montgomery. I'm the head coach of the Golden Triangle Jets, and this is my 4th season being the head coach for the Jets. The thing that keeps me coming back to Cotton States is I was a part of the very first league, the founding year, I guess it was, when I was in high school, and played all through high school, played all my years of college, and it just allows me to keep coming back. And being a teacher, I don't have much to do in the summers, and I love the game, so I'm just always around it. I'll be around it however I can. I went to New Albany High School and then went to Blue Mountain College for 4 years, right down the road. Once I got into high school, I was fortunate enough to have a really good head coach who was really honest with me the day before my sophomore year started and said that I would be in the starting lineup, but I was too fat. That alone gave me the drive and motivation I needed to eat better, work out more, lose weight, and ended up making a career as a third baseman in high school and college level. When I was at Blue Mountain, our home field was actually this field right here. So I played my high school and college ball on this field. I said they're going to name this field after me one day. Hopefully so, maybe so. My teaching career, I've kind of bounced around a little bit. I'm coming into my 5th year. I spent my first 2 years at South Panola High School, my next 2 years at New Albany Middle School, and then this is coming into my 5th year, I'm going over to Lafayette County High School. And growing up, I've always knew that I was going to be a baseball coach, and being in a family of teachers like I was, I understood that in order for me to coach, I'm going to have to teach. So I've got biology certification, general science certification, computer science certification. I'll be teaching 10th through 12th grade physical science and earth science. Being the young guy I am, I'm still 27, I'm still trying to figure out my style of coaching. What I found works best is if players understand that you want the best for them, whether you're on them really hard or you're being soft on some others, that as long as they understand that you want what's best for them, no matter what circumstances it is, then you're going to be successful. Coming in, last week being the first weekend, we come out strong. We won the first game 14-5, then turned around and played the second game of a doubleheader, and we only got one hit. So they say that's baseball, but when you have guys in this league that can throw the way they do, that's going to happen some days. Sunday we come in, we have 2 competitive games, but we were on the losing end of both of them. So we started out 1-3. Last night, come in playing the Tallahatchie Rascals, and we ended up popping them last night, getting our 2nd win behind some really, really good pitching. I've noticed in this league, a lot of guys, when they come out, they'll throw 2, 3, 4 innings and then be like, all right, coach, I'm good. Well, last night was the first time I've had a guy who, every time he came off the mound, be like, hey, you good? I'm good, coach, I got it. I'm good, coach, I got it, every single inning. Even when we pulled him, he said, I'm good, coach, I got it. But he was laboring a little bit, and we got him out of there. He's coming straight out of high school, too. So we're just trying to get him accustomed to the college level, and he is going to be a dude. He's really grown for coming straight out of high school. I love seeing guys that play the game the right way and just want to be in the game, want to compete, and want to do everything they can to win the game. And I mean, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, and luckily this year I think we got a lot of guys that want to do that. Hey, your ground ball away, let's go. One of my favorite phrases from a coach that I've heard was actually a softball coach. She'll holler out, I only need 9. There's only 9 spots to pitch. She only needs 9 players. Well, if I have 9 players that will go out there and give everything they got every single play, we'll be fine. So finding guys like that, that's how you create winning cultures or winning programs. And it's not in a lot of guys. A lot of guys, we're in North Mississippi. It's 100 degrees, 100% humidity. It's hard to play. Some people, you don't even want to come up here. It's the weekends of the summer. You want to go to the beach. You want to go get in the swimming pool, hang out with your girlfriends or whatever. You got to come here and you got to grind it out. And you got to be all here. It's easy to be half here, mine somewhere else and playing. That's what fired me up so much last night about Landon Scruggs' performance was he was here, he was ready to go. He wasn't worried about anything else going on in the world. He's like, I'm on this mound, we're going to go win this game. And players feed off that. So if you get a few of those in your lineup playing for you, it's contagious. Just like the opposite side of that is contagious. If you have guys that don't really want to be here, that's going to feed into everybody else, and everybody's going to not want to be here. Any momentum shifts I've ever been a part of have come out of nowhere. It's like we can try to manufacture it as coaches best we can, but I mean, it's a players-led thing. I mean, it's somebody that you're not expecting to get a hit, gets one, knocks a couple runs in. Some pitcher, you're like, man, he's been really struggling, but he just finds a second wind and strikes two guys out when you got runners in scoring position. We can try and scheme up a momentum shift anytime we want to, but it depends on the player's performance to get it. So really, it's all player-driven, and anytime we get momentum shifts.
Get up, ball. See ya.
And that is Joey DeMasi with a home run.
One thing that, if I could point to one thing to say we need to work on, it would be our defense as of this moment. Our hitting's been fine. Our pitching's been really good. But our defense has, I wouldn't say lost us a couple games, but it's been a little shaky at times. And that's going to happen. Guys ain't played in a month. So it just takes getting their feet back under them. We also have several guys that play different positions and the same position, and we got to get everybody in. We don't want anybody to sit out because they all paid their money to play in this league. So everybody getting the same amount of playing time. Sometimes they're out of position. And if you're out of position, then you don't know everything to do. You can lead to a mistake. And that's happened to us a couple times so far. But as the summer goes on, they learn their position and they learn to make the play. We are fortunate enough to be able to recruit our entire team. If we can find 18 guys to come sign up and say they want to play for the Jets, we can have all 18 of them. This year was more of a struggle because for my first 3 seasons here, I had a core of about 8 or 9 guys that played for me all 3 years. And all 8 or 9 of them decided to hang the cleats up this year with another year to play. So that's half a team right there that I had to figure out, which led me to leaning more on the draft this year because we can recruit our own guys, but there's also players that sign up for the league without a specific team, and all us coaches get together the day after Mother's Day, and we draft all of them. We finalize our teams, and we get ready to play the season. This year, I relied more heavily on the draft than I have in years past, but I think it's playing out better so far this year because I'm getting to meet more guys than what I'm used to knowing. So now I'm getting to figure more guys out at one time than already knowing what 9 of them do, then have to figure out the other half of the team. It's a completely new start for us. We actually do have 3 that came back from last year. But last year was their first year playing. So we try and make it as fun as we can where they want to keep coming back. I mean, obviously it doesn't happen all the time. But when you have 8 or 9 hang it up, I mean, you're not going to have very many come back because we had 4 seniors and 9 that could have come back that did not come back. So that's 13 right there. We got 3 coming back, and then just 2 others decided not to come, not to play, period. So the 3 coming back were Cameron Gordon, Joby Cook, and Gunnar Hopkins. 3 of them that played a lot. Joby Cook was actually a pitcher only last year. He was converted to a PO at his one junior college and is transferring to another junior college so he can go back to catching. And I didn't know he played any position, didn't know he caught. Like, he talked about it, but when you get to this level and somebody tells you they're a pitcher only, I mean, that's usually what they are. But he told me that he's transferring so he can go back to catching, gets back their first game, and I was so impressed. I can't believe he was ever a PO. And our other 2 are actual POs, Cameron Gordon and Gunnar Hopkins. They're actually throwing out here today. Both Tennessee guys. One's at Jackson State Community College, and I think he's going to end up signing with a 4-year because he's pretty good. And then we have Gunnar Hopkins, who's at Hendrix College, which is already a 4-year school up in Tennessee, and both very good pitchers for us in this league.
It's a new day at MaxxSouth. We are excited to share some great news. In our continued effort to support Mississippi businesses, MaxxSouth is now offering local advertising support. Through high-quality programming, we combine traditional television and premium digital advertising, allowing your multimedia campaign to reach your targeted audience at any time on any device. Call MaxxSouth Media Sales today at 662-701-8628. It's a new day at MaxxSouth. We are excited to share some great news. In our continued effort to support Mississippi businesses, MaxxSouth is now offering local advertising support. Through high-quality programming, we combine traditional television and premium digital advertising, allowing your multimedia campaign to reach your targeted audience at any time on any device. Call MaxxSouth Media Sales today at 662-701-8628.
I'm Coach Brandon Montgomery,
I'm Coach Andy Dillard.
I'm Coach Greg Bates. This is Coach Jeff King.
and you're watching Cotton States Baseball on
MaxxSouth Sports.
Last season had just a lot of highs and lows. We went on a stretch where we lost 7 games in a row, then we went on a stretch where we won 6 in a row. And I don't know if it's been said in these interviews, but the dealers are typically the team that everybody wants to beat. And we were able to put them out of the playoffs in the first round last year. So that was the icing on the cake for the season. We ended up getting beat in the semifinals, but being able to beat Coach King, because he always has a great team, being able to put him out of the playoffs that year when he put me out my first 2 seasons really was sweet. The league rivals are the dealers and the tribe just because they've won the most championships. For me personally, it's going to be the Rascals just because me and Andy Dillard are just such good friends. He coached me in high school in the Cotton States and in the college Cotton States. And so now growing up, starting teaching, and he's become a friend. And so when we play each other, it's always a good time, but we always want to beat each other so we can have little bragging rights. Well, I've always told everybody that I've known I was going to be a coach since I was 5 years old. My dad was the biggest part of that, being as he coached me growing up, and he didn't pursue coaching. So he realized that I wanted to do it, so he kind of helped me along that process and showing me like how this needs to be done and that needs to be done, how it needs to be said, and even taking me to the factory in the summers when I was in college to make sure that I stayed in school and finished that degree so I could pursue this career. Biggest part of my coaching career is due to my father. As far as learning the game and diving deeper into just how everything works and how to teach it to a group of players rather than just individual players, because that's the hardest part that nobody tells you about, is I can sit here and teach you how to field a ground ball or how to hit off a tee or hit front toss or anything like that, but then how do you teach a group of kids? How do you teach 30 people at one time who may have done it before, may have learned it another way, to do it the way you want it done or what you consider is the correct way? And that goes a lot to my high school coach, John Walker, and the coach that I coached with my first year at South Panola, Jake Mills. They taught me a lot in terms of organization, just how to teach, how to coach, where to be when you're doing it. It's like, and how to develop a culture. It seems easy. That's why we have so many people that yell at coaches from the stands or that tweet mean things about coaches because they think it looks easy. They don't realize what all goes into it. And those two are still hold my hand as I'm trying to learn this process. And Coach Walker, who I played for in high school, I'm actually going to Lafayette County where he's the head coach now, so I get to learn even more up close with him. It's the love of baseball is what it is, and that's just how he shows it. It's just all that intensity he has it's great. And whenever I was talking to Lafayette and they were getting interviewed and everything, I told them I'm pretty laid back, and they were like, "Oh, so you'll be a good compliment to Coach Walker." The facilities Cotton State's use are state-of-the-art. They are amazing. Personally, I prefer playing on real grass and real dirt, and that's what we have here. A lot of places that they consider state-of-the-art are turf, and it doesn't play the same. Yes, turf's awesome, but you can't beat playing on real grass and real dirt. And we have 2 beautiful fields here that are well kept by the crew here at New Albany, and they do everything they can to make it as beautiful as they can. as far as players using wood bats compared to the metal bats, they would much prefer the metal, because I had one last night who hit one to the warning track that no doubt with a metal bat would have been gone. he got under a little bit and he didn't get that extra oomph like you do with the metal bat. I mean, wood bat, if you hit it perfectly, it's going to go just as far, but if you miss-hit it even a little bit, you can tell. And he knew as soon as he hit it that he didn't get all of it. Pitchers love it because every time they throw one inside, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be some firewood today. One of my main goals for Cotton States is for these players to have fun playing the game of baseball. I've been around a lot of guys who, when they come out of college, they starting to not like it as much because it becomes more like a job rather than a game, which it can be and it kind of is, but it's still a game. It's still fun, and that's one of the main things I try to do. I obviously cannot be on the level of Savannah Bananas, but we try to make it as fun as possible for the guys and pick out details about their swing or their pitching mechanics, fielding mechanics that they can improve on in these 2 months and go back to school better than they left. Every great memory I have from the time I was in T-ball on up has come from a baseball field. Outside of me getting saved at Friendship Baptist Church in Ecru, Mississippi, every great memory I have comes from a baseball field. All of my saddest, all my happiest, even just ones that I just like to think back on. Every one of them involved baseball in some way. I actually got mad one time because I got saved a year. I think I was about 8 years old. The next year, I attended a baseball camp thrown out by a church. A bunch of other kids got saved at it, and I was just like, I could have got saved on a baseball field. But it's my life, and if anybody that spent time with me understands that I'm going to be around baseball. Nothing's going to change that. One way or other, I will find a baseball field to be at. My wife, luckily, she's a softball coach, and she understood that. She hates it sometimes because I'll get to a field. Once I get there, I don't want to leave. There'd be sometimes I come home at 2 o'clock in the morning just because I've been talking to other baseball coaches. And I guess it's just my life, man. I can't imagine what I would do without it.